Here at the Cryptic Files, we don't aim to prove or disprove anything. Simply show the evidence for you to decide. So with that said, let's get started. File 1. The following footage was uploaded to the Ghosts Caught on Camera Facebook group in July 2022. The clip itself is part of a longer video of a family's adventures out for the day on a hot sunny day. The family had found an old abandoned house, and the video is just literally panning our camera across. When she catches something, see if you can spot it. Did you see it? Well, as I often say, it's quite quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if you did miss it. But watch closely at the doorway, the main entrance to the house, as the camera pans back. As the camera pans across, there's a figure in the doorway that moves from left to right. Can you see it? So what is this mysterious figure? If you look very closely, it actually appears to be transparent, so it's certainly not just a person walking by. The video themselves didn't notice it at the time. It was only later on when they uploaded the footage they discovered the strange anomaly. But what is it? But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. File 2. This next piece of footage was uploaded to Reddit in July 2022. It was recorded accidentally while the woman is looking for the power cable for her mobile phone. You can hear her voice speaking when she explicitly describes the problem that she can't find the cable. But then there's something else. Another voice. Have a listen. According to the uploader, there was nobody else in the room or the house at the time. There's no TV on or radio. So where did the other voice come from? Some commentators on Reddit have suggested various explanations for the voice, including possibly a fan being turned on, or simply the cable rubbing against the furniture. But neither of which really explains what certainly sounds like a muffled voice. I'll try and adjust the audio to make it clearer, but unfortunately, depending on your speakers or headphones, this may sound better or worse. But have a listen. Having listened to the audio myself now a number of times, I have a possible explanation of what the voice is saying. A little disturbing, but it's possible. When the girl says it is me off, it almost sounds like the voice says, "That's my purpose." But what do you think? Is it a person's voice or is it something else? Let me know in the comments below. File 3. Although I only recently featured Urbex Hill in my collection of Urban Explorer videos, I really wanted to feature this one as well. Partly because it is very strange, but also it takes place in an area that I've always found absolutely fascinating. The area is Point Pleasant, which has become very famous because of the Mothman incident in the 1960s. The incident, or series of incidents with the Mothman, first began in November 1966, when a mysterious large grey creature with glowing red eyes, like headlights of a car, was spotted on wasteland known as the TNT area, which was actually a munitions plant during World War II. The area is now abandoned, but is often visited by teenagers for whatever teenagers do in abandoned land. However, this was just the first of many sightings of this mysterious creature. Things really came to a head in December 1967 when the Silver Bridge that crossed the Ohio River collapsed, killing 46 people. And it was reported that this sightings of the Mothman may well be connected somehow with the collapse of the bridge, as the sightings themselves seemed to diminish significantly after the incident, although they did continue for a number of years afterwards. While already being picked up by the national press, the story of the Mothman itself became even more famous when writer and researcher John Keel became involved in the case and wrote the book entitled The Mothman Prophecies, which documented some of the strange and bizarre happenings that had occurred during this time. This book was then turned into a movie in 2002 entitled The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere. Also, on a more personal level, I actually know someone who lives in the area, so I was very intrigued to see that Urbex Hill was exploring part of Point Pleasant. Rather sensibly, he doesn't actually say where in Point Pleasant these tunnels are, but my guess would be somewhere probably around the TNT area. But nevertheless, they're very interesting. So let's have a look at some of the strange things he captured, and one incident in particular is absolutely fascinating.
As you can see, the further you go down, the less graffiti you see. Alright, let's go.
Initially, Chris's exploration is interesting but largely uneventful as he delves deeper and deeper into the tunnels. But as Chris continues to explore deeper and deeper into the tunnels, the water gradually gets deeper and the tide is even stronger. Also, the air is filled with moisture created by the boiling water, making it harder and harder to see or hear properly. Eventually he comes to a junction, and Chris pauses to decide which way to go next, and inadvertently films down one of the corridors, without really giving a consideration to what he might be capturing. But what he captures is remarkable. Keep watching the far end of the tunnel. Two lights appear, almost like eyes. He darts back and looks again, but is joined by a second set of eyes lower than the first. Completely unaware of what he's just captured, Chris now starts to explore the tunnel. As Chris rounds the corner, we can now see that whatever it was has disappeared. There's no sign of either of them. Where did they go? Let's have a closer look at what Chris has captured. While the taller one seems to be no more than a set of eyes, the shorter one actually has a body. You have to look very closely, but it's there. Watch again with contrast and brightness improved. Watch closely as I loop the little one jumping backwards and forwards. You can see his left arm sticking out and what appears to be legs. Notice too how the short guy actually seems to kick the water as he retreats. Oblivious to the fact that Chris has captured such a strange anomaly, he continues to follow the corridor. But there's no sign of those mysterious creatures anywhere. However, despite the fact that Chris has no idea he's caught something on camera at this point, he does notice something else later on.
Somebody screamed.
It certainly did sound like a scream from a human rather than an animal, but there's no sign of anything that could possibly have made that noise.
Yes, outside at last.
Chris eventually finds his way back to the entrance of the tunnels and heads back out. But what did Chris capture on video in those tunnels? Were those beings real? Well, I've actually communicated with Chris via Facebook, and I would say that I'm absolutely convinced that he certainly did not fake any of this. So what did he capture? Was somebody fooling around and followed them into the tunnels? Or is it something genuinely paranormal? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you've made it this far and liked what you've seen, please click like and subscribe. Also hit the little bell icon, because for some strange reason if you don't hit that, you don't get the videos, even if you're subscribed. That's a strange one. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.